Well, we're in my living room because unexpected maintenance and repairs to the Sebo, because I was using it this morning and all of a sudden it started vibrating vigorously and making a clunking sound. And I've narrowed it down. First I thought it was the brush bar, brush roll, whatever you want to call it. So I took it out and got rid of any hair and fluff. There weren't a lot on there because I clean it daily, just to keep it alright. There's a little bit on there now, but not much. And I put it back and it's still vibrating when you turn it on and making clunking sounds. So I took the brush roll out, it still does it. So I'm narrowing it down. It's got to be something in the motor or around this area. So I've got my screwdrivers. I've just bring in indoors. I don't want to take this out in the garage because I don't want to get it scratched up because it's quite rough out there, isn't it? So I'm doing it on the living room carpet because it's nice and soft. And I don't know how that's happened. Must have caught something under it one day. So I'm going to take it apart. The reason for this is because I had to import this from Germany, and I have contacted the sellers, but with it being this Saturday they haven't replied yet. But because I imported this from Germany, if I was to send this all the way back to Germany and the part is either something come loose inside, just simply tying it up like a screw or something, or a bearing, get a new bearing that's probably a couple of quid, it would be a lot easier for me just to repair it here than it would be to send it all the way to Germany, pay the postage again, have them fix it, wait a couple of weeks, and then they send it back. It'd just be a lot of hassle just for something little, if it's a screw or a bearing or something. So I'm going to take it apart gently and see what I can find inside. If it is terminal, like the motor's knackered or something like that, then obviously I'll just have to say I want it replaced because it's broken down. I've only had it 2 months, 2 or 3 months. August I bought it this year. There's a couple of months, with it being October now, so a few months. So I'm just going to take it apart and see what's inside and see if I can find the problem. If not, I will be sending it back for a replacement. So let's see what we can find, shall we? Mr. Ibasiak's probably sitting there now, if he's watching this, shouting at the screen, "No! Don't you dare take that apart and get your grubby, dirty fingernails inside there!" And I'll be like, well, you wait and see, dude. I bet you've never even taken one apart, have you? Let's see what's inside. Well, here we are. We've got a bit over there, some bits there, some bits there, and some screws there. A lot of carbon dust and things on there, but nothing you wouldn't expect. There's not a lot really out of the ordinary. There's a little bit of belt dust. This is like rubber, which made me think maybe the belt was slipping for some reason. A little bit in there as well, but I can't. Looking at the belt itself, hopefully that light's good enough. It doesn't look like it's been slipping too much. There's plenty of wear on them teeth, and same for this one. Doesn't look like it's really been slipping or anything. There's not too much dust. These little bearings, there's a slight bit of movement, but not an awful lot. And the same for that one. So I'm going to take them screws out to take that cover off. I want to try and get the bearing for the brush roll mechanism out to see if that's the cause. And what I'll do, I'll take this belt off here, and I'll put the top bit back on, and I'll fire it up without the brush roll engaged, because then I'll be able to see if it still does it. If it's still vibrating, it's obviously something to do with this end and not the brush roll in any way. So we'll do that. Right, here's where I've got up to so far. I think this is the culprit, to be honest with you, because it's a little bit loose and it does move ever so slightly. Now I haven't actually tested this yet, but I have put it back together, ish, plugged it in, turned it on, and there's no vibrations now. It just works as it should. There's no proper like it was before. It was literally vibrating, and it was coming all out the handle, and it was just you couldn't use it. Oops, I've just knocked the pipe off the back, and you couldn't use it or anything really because it's vibrating too much. I'm making a clanking sound, right? So now I've eliminated or taken all the mechanism. If I can move, show you. I've said there's no belt coming now. It's literally just motor. Yeah, the suction. There's no mechanism going anywhere. There's the belt for the brush roll. So because first thing I done was I took the brush roll out and then turned it on, and it was still vibrating. Obviously this was still engaged with the belt on it. So I reckon this might be the culprit. But it's not even amazing. It's not even a lot of play in there. But it does move, so I reckon this might be the culprit. But what I'm going to do before I go blaming this completely, I'm going to put this back together. I'm going to put this back on and put the belt back on, make sure everything's nice and tight, and turn it on without a brush roll in it, just this on its own. Then we'll see if it vibrates or not. Welly, welly, welly. I've put that belt back on around here and turned it on, and there's no vibration now. It seems to be working as it should do. So I've made sure I've taken it outside, put a little bit of oil on the bearing, engine oil, just a tad, that's a drip, just to make sure it's lubricated. And I put the brush roll back in, put this back on. This bearing in here doesn't move at all, unless it's seized up. There's a little bit on the slant, isn't it? But I can't see that being a problem if it hasn't seized. I'm going to put a screwdriver in there. Don't move. I don't know whether it's supposed to, but we'll wait and see. We'll put this back on. We'll put this back on now. Dilly dilly. Is that the way it goes? Whoops, hang on, I just had something fall off. Let's sort this out. Right, it's a lot easier when it's upright. Anyway, that should be alright now. Let's turn it on and find out. I'll have to hold the handle, because that's when you noticed it, when you was holding the handle. And you, as if we were going to start vacuuming. Well, there ain't no vibrations now, that's for sure. Well, I reckon I did notice these screw here and that one there was loose, and these two here, they were, I wouldn't say they were loose, but I did get another 2 turns on them when I tried to tighten them up, because I tightened all these screws up. I did get 2 turns, about 1.5 on that one and 2 on that one. So maybe they were loose and this mechanism was sort of bouncing a little bit. Maybe. Well, the only way I'm going to find out now is to put the cover back on and put it all back together and use it and see how we go. Hopefully that's fixed the problem then. Just a couple of loose screws, hopefully. And it cost me nothing, I hope. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully a bit of common sense and a bit of ingenuity will always get you through. We'll find out. I'm not finished yet, but I don't want to jinx it. Well, there we go, my feathered friends. It's I've just done a small amount of vacuuming with it in this little area, and it seems to be okay now. I don't appear to be having too much, well, nearly none, no vibrations. It's how it was now when it was new. Well, it is new, but how it was when I got it out of the box anyway. So it seems to be there was just a couple of loose screws on that side there. Or this side. No, it was that side. Sure it was that side. A couple of loose screws, I reckon, that's what it was. So all I need to do then is just if it vibrates again, I just need to check them screws. You know, the bearings in the brush roll seem to be okay. Sweet as a nut, my friends. There we go. So if you've got one of these and it vibrates, check them screws. We'll take it apart. They're easy enough. That's what I like about German stuff, you know, that they think about design. That was easy peasy to take apart. I've taken apart many things in my time, and some things are a pain in the arse. Especially cars, because the manufacturers never ever think about people that got to take them apart. I think about building them, easy ways to build them, finish. But Germans, when they make appliances, they're good. Easier than a Dyson to take apart, that was. So there we go. Sweet. I was just about to edit this video, and I thought to myself, well, I'll do the rest of the room, and start vibrating again, and come up with check brush. So I've come to the conclusion the bearing on that side is the problem, so I'm going to try and get a new bearing for that bit. That's definitely the problem, I think. It makes a bit of a clunking sound now. Listen, this is the sound that it was doing before. It must be when it gets hot. Yeah. Now, if you feel that, you can't, but I feel that, and the vibration is coming from this side, which is where that thing is with the belt goes up. That bearing there. So I reckon it's that. So that's what I'm going to get a replacement part for. And then we'll go from there. It must just be when it gets hot, it decides to break down a little bit. I don't know why. Yeah, you get 40 parts and everything, don't you? So there you go. The next video you see of it will be repairing it, I suppose. I thought I'd done it, but I haven't. So stay tuned for the next repair video of this Sebo.